It was Christmas Eve. The children begged their mother to let them stay up just a little longer. She said yes. That decision, that one small act of love, was the last time she would ever see 5 of her children alive. Or would she? Because here is what makes this case different from every other missing children case in history. Their bodies were never found. Not a single bone, not a single tooth, nothing. And the evidence, the cold, hard, undeniable evidence, suggests they may never have been in that fire at all. This is the story of Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty Sodder, 5 children who vanished on Christmas Eve, 1945, and the mystery that has haunted America for 80 years. Fayetteville, West Virginia. 1945. George and Jenny Sodder were Italian immigrants who had built a good life in America. George ran a successful trucking business. They had 10 children. Yes, 10. A large, loud, loving family. On Christmas Eve, 9 of the children were home. The oldest, John, was away serving in the military. As midnight approached, 5 of the children asked to stay up late. Maurice, who was 14, Martha, 12, Louis, 10, Jenny, 8, and little Betty, just 5 years old. Their mother, Jenny, said yes. She went to bed around midnight, leaving the 5 children downstairs. At around 1 in the morning, she was jolted awake, not by screaming, not by the smell of smoke, but by the sound of something hitting the roof. A loud thud. She looked out the window. The house was on fire. George and Jenny ran through the house, screaming for their children. They managed to get 4 of the children out safely, but the staircase was already engulfed in flames. The 5 children upstairs, they couldn't reach them. George ran outside and grabbed his ladder to climb to the 2nd floor window. The ladder was gone. He ran to his trucks to drive them under the window so he could climb up. Neither truck would start. Both trucks, that had been working perfectly the day before, completely dead. George tried to climb the burning walls with his bare hands. He tried repeatedly. He was pulled back by neighbors who arrived at the scene. By 1:30 a.m., the house was gone, reduced to ash in less than 45 minutes. And with it, 5 children, or so everyone assumed. When investigators examined the ruins the next morning, they found something that should have been impossible. No remains, not one bone, not one tooth, not one fragment of a human body. George and Jenny refused to accept the official explanation that the fire had simply consumed everything. So Jenny did what any desperate mother would do. She started calling experts, funeral directors, pathologists, fire investigators. Every single one told her the same thing. The idea that 5 human bodies could be completely incinerated in a residential house fire lasting less than 45 minutes was nearly impossible. Crematoriums, purpose-built furnaces designed to incinerate human remains, operate at over 1,800 degrees for 2 to 3 hours. A house fire simply cannot do what this fire was claimed to have done. Then the other details started coming out. The night of the fire, the phone line had been cut, not damaged by fire, cut, deliberately severed. George's ladder, found the next day in a ditch far from the house. Someone had moved it. Both of George's trucks, investigators found that the fuse boxes had been tampered with. That's why they wouldn't start. And the fire itself, a local bus driver came forward and said he had seen people throwing what looked like flaming objects onto the Sodder roof that night. This was not an accident. this was planned. Weeks before the fire, something had happened that the family had tried to put out of their minds. A stranger came to the Sodder home asking about life insurance. When George declined, the man's tone changed. He pointed to the house and said, and these are the words that would haunt George Sodder for the rest of his life. Your house will go up in smoke one day, and your children will be destroyed. George had also been vocal in his opposition to Mussolini and fascist Italy, unusual and dangerous views for an Italian immigrant in 1945. A man who knew the family later told investigators that he believed George had been targeted, that the fire was retaliation, not just arson. A message. And the children, the 5 missing children, may have been taken as part of that message. In the days after the fire, the sightings began. A woman who worked at a hotel 50 miles away reported seeing 5 children matching the Sodder children's descriptions, accompanied by 2 women and 2 men she did not recognize. When authorities arrived to investigate, they were gone. A waitress at a diner reported serving breakfast on Christmas morning to 5 children who matched the descriptions exactly. She remembered because they seemed frightened. She couldn't recall the adults with them. An acquaintance of the family reported seeing the children being driven away in a car while the fire was still burning. George and Jenny Sodder spent every dollar they had chasing these leads across America. They hired private investigators. One of those investigators, while actively working the case, simply vanished, never heard from again. For 23 years, George and Jenny kept searching. They put up a billboard on the main road into Fayetteville with photographs of their 5 missing children and a reward for information. For 23 years, that billboard stood. Then in 1968, something extraordinary happened. Jenny received an envelope in the mail. No return address, postmarked from Kentucky. Inside, a single photograph. A young man in his mid-20s stared back at her. Jenny immediately recognized something in his face. The jawline, the eyes, the expression. She believed, with every fiber of her being, that she was looking at her son Louis, grown up, alive. Written on the back of the photograph were the words, Louis Sodder, I love brother Frankie, Lil Boys, a 90132. The meaning of those words has never been decoded. The photograph was investigated, never explained. The sender, never identified. George Sodder died in 1969, 1 year after receiving that photograph. He never found his children. He died believing they were alive somewhere. Jenny kept the billboard standing until she died in 1989. 44 years. She never stopped. Their surviving children continued the search for decades after. In 2010, the family agreed to excavate the original fire site. A human vertebra was found, later determined to belong to an adult male, not a child. Its presence at the site remains unexplained. The case remains officially unsolved. No charges, no answers, no closure. 5 children. Christmas Eve, 1945. The phone line cut. The ladder gone. The trucks disabled. The bodies never found. A stranger's threat. A mysterious photograph. A private investigator who vanished. Every single piece of evidence points to the same conclusion. Something was done to the Sodder family that night. Something deliberate, something organized, something evil. But by whom and why? And most importantly, what happened to those 5 children? We still don't know. 80 years later, we still don't know. The case is cold, But the truth never freezes. If this case moved you, subscribe to Dark Cold Cases. Every week, we reopen the files the world forgot. Because somewhere out there, Maurice, Martha, Louie, Jenny, and Betty deserve an answer.